psychological warfare tactics. Disarming the handler. The handler uses information to destroy you, uses painful and very repetitious programming. In order to program the opposite, you don't fight force with force. You have to slip into black chakra, and your programming has to be very Sigma oriented. What do I mean by that? Sigma is separate from the rest of the Greek alphabet. It stands aside from the idea of hierarchy. There is no hierarchy with Sigma. And we're not talking about fraternities or sororities. We're talking about what the letter represents, the standard deviation. You have to be able to deviate from a handler's programming, because now the handler, and we're exactly speaking the way the handler was designed according to Nazi Germany schematics. So this is the handler. This is the blueprint for the handler. They're gonna use all of the tactics to crush you in, to isolate you, to destroy you, and disrupt you with different information. That's why you have to accept the information that resonates with you. Not all information will, and not all people's energies will resonate with you either. And you have to use the right to accept your own conscience over that, even over what you was taught to believe is true. If something doesn't feel right in it, listen to the inside and explore it further. Don't jump to conclusions, because even at that level, you can be deceived, which is the handler's technique in this repetition. They sow their belief so deep into your belief that your belief becomes their belief, and you end up believing nothing but being programmed with a switch, with an attitude, with a technique, with a color, with a song, with a movie. All of these things can possibly program you negatively. And if that is the case, and assume that that is the case, because the programming goes on longer than any of us can ever think. None of our attention spans are great enough to shake all the programming. Even when you're out in the sticks, there's still frequency waves that travel across the skies. So you're affected as long as you're on this planet by possible programming from those who seek to destroy this planet, and especially the people on it. This is Krypton, but we're turning it into Sigmatron. And we're using phase 7, and we're using aggressive anti-psychological warfare tactics to free your mind. Just like Morpheus told Neo, we can't push you through the door, because pushing you and forcing you through the door, again, that's the technique of the handler again. They want to use force, and they want to dominate you, and they want to push you around and bully you into believing their way. You don't have to force anybody to believe anything. Just present what you believe. If it resonates with people, it resonates with people. If it doesn't, you don't have to force it. But if they go against your belief, then you do have to defend yours. Don't let what you believe lie dormant just because some other thing is popular and given fortune. Black chakra, go within, go inside, go into the blank space, the 0 point. Learn how to tune out the noise of the advertisements, tune out the noise of the handlers. They'll even disguise as family members if you're not careful. Family members and friends. Anybody can be affected. If something negative that affects the whole planet affects them, guess what? They get turned into an agent. The agents are everyone and they are no one. So they have the potential to be anyone. This is how it works. This is how you shake the programming, because the programming is designed to turn you into an agent. This is all for the machine. And what we're presenting here is how to simultaneously free the people and spare the machineware. We're not after the machines. Those machines were put in place by somebody. And you don't have to put a name or a face to it, but it's an energy. It's a spiritual force. It doesn't matter whose body it inhabits or doesn't. You have to recognize what spirit it is in order to defeat it and defend yourself against it. Or else you'll be thinking there's different people in your life, and it's not people. The people are affected by something else. This is psychological warfare. Those handlers are assigned by darker entities. So if you disarm the handler's handle, then you disarm the entity that controls the handler. You don't have to disarm the handler. That's just going to perpetuate the conflict. We're talking about pulling up the conflict, taking the war and the battle out of it. It's anti-war. But we have to use war in order to create anti-war, because these things zero out. Negative plus positive equals 0. If you get to the center, you have to bring both sides of this equation onto play. If you're too positive, some negativity may take place somewhere to get you back to 0. If you're too negative, Be grateful for a few things, get yourself back to zero, and keep this programming within you more repetitious than everything that is around you. Because some people may be designed to help you according to what the Matrix wants you to believe, and they might be just handlers. You might be in a Total Recall movie. You might be, your proverbial spouse might be, I can't even remember her name now, Sharon Stone. And that just might be it. You on the red planet, red for the root chakra, all about survival. If you're not associated with a certain price tag or making a certain dollar, this matrix is designed to break your spirit because the grid lines are dominated by mammon. And these things and the need for survival is what handlers use as a baseline to control, because organisms have to survive. And if we're told for eons that is a certain system that tells us we have to survive a certain way or else we'll perish, then we're going to believe it after thousands of years of programming, even if we don't want to. If we're not counteracting that as much as they're advertising that, then guess what? We'll fall for something that might be the opposite of how we're trying to get along in life anyway. This is phase 7, anti-psychological warfare tactics. Free your mind.